part 2 of 3, guys. I'm going to get this out to you. So, we were discussing what's good for one might be bad for another, yada, yada, following what calls to us. People don't understand our journey like our spirit guides and ourselves. They couldn't possibly because they're not us. And I was called to also share a part of my story where growing up, I always wanted to be a child psychologist. I wanted to understand and what makes me tick, what makes other people's tick. And I didn't know that I was, born to be a healer and somebody that was going to help people deeply in healing their inner childhood wounds and other various healings. However, um, it was pretty much told to me that, being a child psychologist, that's a lot of money. Going to university, I was kind of swayed off of that path and do something a little easier, settle for something easier that didn't call to me. So I spent most of my life working very hard, having many jobs, doing things that did not bring my heart joy at all. And then even after that, I said, "Well, wow!" I saw what an inspirational speaker, and back then that was a big deal, a big thing. And I said, "That's what I feel like I need to do." And then I was told by others, "Well, that's not a real job." And so I didn't pursue it. And now here I am, certified in hypnosis, in here I am with my own platform where I am inspiring others to do the healing. I'm also certified in, intuitive healing, spiritual healing of all nature. And I've also tapped very deeply into my psychic gifts. Okay. So what I'm saying is save yourself the time and don't waste decades like I did. And don't allow other people to, sway you that, even if they mean well, maybe they just don't understand your journey. So why would we take advice or big life decisions from anybody outside of ourselves? Trust what's calling to you and find a way. There's always a way, and it's part of your life purpose. If it's calling to you, it's your purpose, and don't let others sway you or judge how it's going to work out. You just know it is. So just recently, you were able to let go of the old past movie playing in your head, okay? You were clinging to a movie that was constantly playing in your head, and it was holding you back because you kept bringing the same events into your life, wondering, why do I keep bringing the same people in my life, the same events into my life, the same lessons, right? But it's when we let go, process, like see what the lesson is in it, and then let it go. We're not meant to carry all this baggage. Can you imagine if we saw our wounds and our baggage physically, okay, which it does show through the body, by the way? Every illness is some way of the body and the soul speaking, hey, this is what needs to change, which you could check out Louise L. Hay, You Can Heal Your Life book. It's alphabeticalized every single ailment and how your body's telling you the thought pattern that needs to be changed, okay? And people have healed themselves, literally. This is how your body will naturally heal itself once the issue has been taken care of. However, we'll get back to this. Once you process the pain, see that it has a lesson and pull the lesson out, that won't keep repeating because you've already learned. People are like, why does this keep happening? Because there's something you haven't learned yet to heal an aspect of yourself that believes a certain aspect of yourself that keeps bringing in these events, which isn't true. It's a projection of others. It looks like you started to heal that. This is what I knew this reading would have this. And thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit Guides. I knew you'd bring this. Unconditional love. This is a crazy, wild topic that a lot of people are really confused about. It's literally, if you look at the word, thank you, the world, we are all connected. We are all connected from worms to plants to animals to people. We all share the same ball of energy. And at one life, someone might be the mother in to somebody, and in another life you might be the child because there was a role reversal needed to understand. We come here to understand each other, to learn how to love unconditionally. And now, what does that mean? Love that has conditions is more or less someone who says, okay, I'll love you as long as, or I won't love you if you do this, or, I love you so much as long as you don't hurt me, but unconditional love is I love you no matter what, but I will choose who I invest my energy in and who I allow in my space because it influences my energy greatly, right? Your vibration. So anyone who says that they can love, I love this person unconditionally because I know they've always got my back. It's what conditions, like, well, I don't know, because have I seen the conditions? Maybe I wouldn't be able to love them under certain conditions, but then that's not real love, because unconditional love means, what can I get out of it? That means you're not loving fully with your soul, okay? If you can see somebody at a soul level and recognize we're all on this journey, and half of these people that test us the most were besties in the spirit world, and they actually chose to show up and be a certain way, a certain dynamic, so that you could fully learn from that experience because they want you to grow, and you give something to them at the same time. You make these soul contracts so that you show up a certain way. That is unconditional love. Because think about it. How unhealed would that person have to remain until you learn this lesson? They've got your back. They're showing up in the most miserable way that, triggers your insecurities and fears so that you can learn. So unconditional love is saying, I acknowledge we are all literally the same at the soul level, even though some of our dynamics or we're a little slower or faster learning on our path. You can still love them unconditionally, even if it be completely at a distance or not having them in your life. Okay, that is unconditional love. It's no longer about, I'll love you as long as you show up for me this way, as long as you do this for me. That's a very lower vibrational love. That's the love that doesn't have as much strength and authenticity. It's just, what can you do for me? And that's, as I don't even have to say anymore, I'm being told by Spirit, so thank you. You understand where I'm going with this. I always strive to be the one who loves unconditionally and can see through. I can see through all of it. I can see every perception. Can you put yourself in other people's shoes and say, well, if that was me, and if I was unhealed, or if I hadn't done the healing, yeah, I recognize I was like that once, or I could have that tendency, or I see that they're just screaming out because they're upset and they feel like they're out of control. Or if you can put yourself in other people's perspectives, in the worm's perspective when it's drying up on the pavement because the puddles left. If that were you, if you were that worm and some giant could come and pick you up and put you in some shaded grass, do you understand? Unconditional love, because one soul, one lifetime, you might be that soul that ends up, if you walked right by when you could have done something, said something, just given kindness to anyone or anything, you might be that soul in another life to understand the perspective of how that felt when someone could have helped, or could have just smiled, or could have just forgiven, or could have just listened to understand, or could have intervened, or could have been their voice. All of these things. You might be that soul that comes back to see, how did it feel like on that end? Because when we cross over and we pass on, we do the life review. How did I show up? Was there something I could have done? Did I miss the big picture? Did I not catch that lesson? And you are the one who does your own judging. So we all know how much we can criticize ourselves, right? So what is it that you're going to think? Did I show up in as fully as I could for every living being without compromising myself? Which is interesting. The next card, okay? This is what you're doing right now. You're being called to stop compromising yourself. This is on two levels, okay? You're either in a relationship or a job or surrounding yourself